back for week 2 of our Lent readings this year, 2021. Thank you for continuing and joining us again. And today is day 5. So today will be Deuteronomy as we're looking through the books of the Old Testament. And Deuteronomy is set on the plains of Moab. Now that's on the borders of Canaan. It's set when Israel are about to enter the promised land across the Jordan. Moses is giving a speech at the end of his life, and that's what it really, the book of Deuteronomy recounts, the speech of Moses. At the end of this book he will die, and it will be Joshua who will lead the people of Israel across the Jordan and into the promised land. And it's called Deuteronomy. The word means second law, because what Moses does, he does two things. Firstly, he recounts the story of those 40 years of wandering in the desert from Mount Sinai all the way up to the borders of Canaan. And then it records this speech, which is what Deuteronomy is, and he gives a recount of the law, what was given at Mount Sinai. So it repeats things that are given in earlier in Exodus and in Leviticus and those things. There's a repeat of those laws. And then Moses at the end dies. But before he dies, God takes him up Mount Nebo in chapter 34, and he looks out from Mount Nebo and he sees Canaan. He sees where Israel will go. Though he isn't going to go there himself, he will die before getting there. And that was the inspiration for Martin Luther King's famous speech, where he says, "I've been to the mountaintop. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you." He gave that speech the day before he was assassinated. Now Deuteronomy is the start of a wonderful history. If you read Deuteronomy, it gives that account from Mount Sinai up to the borders of Canaan. And if you again read, having read Deuteronomy, you read Joshua, Judges, 1 and 2 Samuel, and 1 and 2 Kings, that gives the complete history of Israel from Mount Sinai to the exile. And they all follow on one after the other, and you can find out the whole history of Israel from Sinai to exile in that. Now I'm going to read from chapter 30 today, and it's where Moses has given out all the law and he presents the covenant agreement to Israel again. Reminds them they are God's people, a covenanted people. But there's a choice in that, and this is what he presents to Israel. So chapter 30 from verse 11. "Now what I am commanding you today is not too difficult for you or beyond your reach. It is not up in heaven, so that you have to ask, 'Who will ascend into heaven to get it and proclaim it to us, that we may obey it?' Nor is it beyond the sea, that you have to ask, 'Who will cross the sea to get it and proclaim it to us, that we also may obey it?' No, the word is near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart, that you may obey it. See, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. For I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, and to keep his commands, decrees and laws. Then you will live and increase, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you are not obedient, and if you are drawn away to bow down to other gods and worship them, I declare to you this day that you will certainly be destroyed. You will not live long in the land you are crossing the Jordan to enter and possess. This day I call on heaven and earth as witnesses against you, and I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you may live and your children may live, and that you may love the Lord your God, listen to his voice, and hold fast to him. For the Lord is your life, and he will give you many years in the land I swore to give your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Now some people will say that God will save all Israel because he made a covenant with them, and he cannot break his word. But look at the words that Moses gives them. There is choice in this. There is choice to follow the Lord, to be obedient, or to reject him and be disobedient. And one leads to life, and one leads to curses, rejection. There was always obedience as a requirement for the Old Testament covenant. Unlike the gospel, the Old Testament covenant is conditional on obedience. The New Testament covenant is not. To all who receive Jesus, there is no condition. It is an unconditional offer. Why? Because the Old Testament covenant was based on our obedience, or Israel's obedience. But the New Testament covenant isn't based on our obedience, but the obedience of Christ and the cross. And that's why it is secure. That's good news. Till next time, have a blessed day.